Hello students, today we are going to look at the fertilization in plants. Okay, so as you know, the sexual reproduction in plant is having two major steps. What are they? The pollination and fertilization. Pollination that we have already seen. We have seen the different types of pollinations like self-pollination and cross-pollination. All these things that we have done. Okay, and the next step is fertilization. After pollination, the fertilization should happen. Okay, so let us move to the fertilization. So before going to the details of the fertilization, you should know what is the structure of the pollen grain and what is the structure of the ovary. Okay, so see, the pollination is already has been done. Okay, so the pollen grain is landed on the stigma. What do you mean by pollination? Pollination means the transfer of pollen grain from the anther to the stigma. That is known as pollination. That has been done. Okay, so let us see what is the structure of a pollen grain. Pollen grain is releasing from the anther in a two-cell stage. Okay, it has got two cells in it. Okay, what are the two cells within the pollen grain? It has got a generative cell and it has got a tube cell. Okay, what are the two cells? It has got a generative cell and it has got a tube cell. And generative cell is having a generative nucleus and tube cell, of course, it is having a tubular or tube nucleus. Okay, and two nucleus will be there inside. Two cells are there. Two nucleus will be there inside the pollen grain. And you can see that the pollen grain has got two coverings. Outer covering of the pollen grain, this is known as exine. The outer covering of the pollen grain is known as what? Exine, and it is resistant to the unfavorable conditions. Okay, and it is protecting, the exine is really protecting the pollen grain from the unfavorable conditions. And the inner layer of the pollen grain or the inner covering of the pollen grain is known as what? Intine. Okay, and you can see there is a portion where there is no exine. In this pollen grain, without exine, one region is there, and this is known as the germ pore, and from this germ pore, the pollen tube is arising. Okay, once again, this is the structure of a pollen grain, and pollen grain is releasing from the anther in a two-cell state. Means it has got two cells within. Tubular cell will be there and a generative cell will be there. Tubular cell is having the tube nucleus and the generative cell is having the generative nucleus, and the pollen grain is having two protective covers. Okay, the outer covering is known as the exine and the inner covering is known as the intine, and you can see a region where there is no exine, and this portion is known as the germ pore. Through the germ pore, the pollen tube is arising. Okay, this is the structure of the pollen grain. And in our structure of the flower, in that class itself, I have told you the outer structure or the general structure of the pistil that we have studied. It has got three parts. What are they? This distant portion is known as a stigma, tube-like portion is known as a style, and the pulse portion is known as the ovary. Like that we have studied. And let us see what is the detailed structure of the ovary. Okay, you just zoom into the ovary, and you can see that a blue color portion that I have made here, and this is the inner portion of the ovary. The inner portion of the ovary is known as the ovule. Okay, ovule means the inner portion of the ovary, and the inner portion of the ovary or the ovule is protected by two layers. Protective layers are there. Okay, the inner side of the ovary is known as the ovule, and it is protected by two protective layers. That's what I have made with this blue color. Two layers of protective layer you can see here. And what is the name of that layer? Integuments. What is that? Integuments. So what is integuments? That is a protective layer of the ovule. Okay, that is integument. And inside the integument, this brown color portion, there is a mass of the cells. A group of cells are there. Okay, and that group of cells is known as nucellus. Nucellus is a name. Nucellus is nutritive in function. It is giving nutrition to the ovule. Okay, nucellus. And inner to that, you can see that a portion, and this portion is known as the embryo sac. Okay, so what are the structures? In the ovary, the inner portion of the ovary, that is known as the ovule, and it is get protected by the protective layers, and that is known as the integument. And inside the integument, a mass of cells will be there, and that is known as nucellus, nutritive in function. And inside the nucellus, inner to the nucellus, you can see a special structure that is known as an embryo sac. Okay, and you just look at this figure. More clearly, you will understand what is the structure of an embryo sac. In an embryo sac, you can see that, see, there are 3 cells which are here, and before that, see, here integuments are there, right? Integuments I have made here, and you can see that a portion without integument. Integument means what was integument? That is the covering of the ovule. So without the integument, one portion is here, and this opening is known as the micropyle. Okay, so without integument or the opening of the integument, that is known as what? Micropyle. There is an opening to the ovule. Okay, in the ovary there is an opening to the ovule without integument. That is known as what? Micropyle. Okay, and you can see that at the micropylar end, means this ovule is where? Within the ovary, and within the ovary, the ovule, the micropylar end, you can see that 3 cells are here. Okay, 3 cells are here. What is this? This is the structure of embryo sac. Okay, embryo sac this is, and the embryo sac is having 3 cells at the end of the micropyle, at the side of the micropyle. This portion is known as what? Micropyle. The opening to the ovule, that is micropyle. And at the end of this micropyle, or at the micropylar side, the ovule is having 3 cells. Okay, the embryo sac is having 3 cells. And the centrally placed cell, this is known as the egg. Okay, centrally placed cell is known as the egg, and both sides 2 more cells are there, and these are known as the synergids. Okay, centrally placed egg cell is there, and with that both sides synergids are there. Synergids. Okay, and you can see that opposite side of this, or opposite to the micropylar end, you can see 3 more cells over here. Okay, 3 more cells are here, and these cells are known as the antipodals. What it is? Antipodals. Okay, and centrally 2 nucleus are there, and we can call these nucleus as polar nuclei. Okay, polar nuclei. So what is the structure of the embryo sac? Embryo sac is having 3 cells at the micropylar end. Okay, at the micropylar end, it is having 3 cells. What are they? Centrally placed egg cell is there, and both sides it has got the synergids. Okay, opposite to the micropyle, it has got 3 more cells, and what are they? Antipodals. Okay, centrally placed 2 nucleus are there, and we are calling it as what? Polar nuclei. Okay, this is the structure of the embryo sac. Okay, so now let us see how the fertilization is taking place. As I have told you, the pollination has been done already. Okay, so the pollen grain is here on the stigma. Okay, pollen grain is here on the stigma. This is exine. I am just making it. Okay, within that, how many nucleus are there? 1 tubular nucleus and 1 generative nucleus will be there. Okay, the tubular nucleus is making the pollen tube. Okay, the tubular nucleus is making what? The pollen tube. So from where the pollen tube is starting, I have told you there is a place within the pollen grain where there is no exine, and we call it as what? Germ pore. Okay, so through the germ pore, the pollen tube will get start. Okay, by means of the tubular nucleus, and when it is starting to make the pollen tube, at that time the generative nucleus will divide. Okay, the generative nucleus will divide, and it will make 2 nucleus. Okay, so at the time of the germination of the pollen tube, okay, the generative nucleus will divide, and it will make 2 nucleus, and the pollen nucleus, the tubular nucleus is also there in the pollen tube. Like that, 3 nucleus will be there. Have you got it? See, within the pollen grain, it has got 2 nucleus, 1 tubular nucleus and 1 generative nucleus is there, and the tubular nucleus will make the pollen tube. Okay, it will make the pollen tube, and the generating nucleus will divide and it will make two nucleus. So into the pollen tube all the contents are going to be transferred, means all these nucleus and the cytoplasm will enter into the pollen tube. Okay, one tubular nucleus will be there, two generating nucleus will be there, like that it will be, and it will move to the ovary like this. It will grow up to this, the pollen tube will come up to this. Okay, it will come up to this, and this nucleus is moving through the pollen tube, like that it will be. Finally it will reach up to the embryo sac. Now up to the embryo sac the nucleus will come. Firstly the tubular nuclei and two generating nuclei, otherwise these two are the male nucleus or the male gamete. Okay, these are the male gametes. So from where did you get the male gamete? Actually from the generative cell. Two cells were there, tubular cell was there, a tube cell was there, and a generative cell was there. Tube cells is forming, or it is responsible for the formation of the pollen tube, and the generative cell is dividing into two. It is making two male nucleus. Okay, so these three nucleus will reach up to the embryo sac, and when it is reaching up to the embryo sac, the tubular nucleus will get disintegrate. Okay, there is no further need of tubular nucleus. It was for making the pollen tube, and up to this it came, and there is no need to be exist here. I mean, there is no need to be exist here in this pollen tube further, so that it will disintegrate, and these two nucleus, male nucleus, will enter into the embryo sac. How it is entering? See, it is entering into the synergid. You know that what is synergid? I told you two cells are there at the either side of the egg. Egg is having two cells in the sides. Okay, this is synergid. One of the synergid is taking, or into one of the synergid the pollen tube is entering. Okay, to the synergid it is entering. Both the male nucleus will enter into the synergid. When the pollen tube is entering into the synergid, the pollen tube will break. Okay, the pollen tube will break when it is entering into the synergid, and it will release the male gametes over here. Okay, afterwards the synergid itself is breaking. Now all these nucleus will be there inside the embryo sac. Okay, two male nucleus will be there. It will be there in the embryo sac. Okay, and one of the nucleus will fuse with the egg cell. One of the nucleus, one of the male nucleus will fuse with the egg cell, and it is forming the zygote. One of the male nucleus will fuse with the polar nuclei. Okay, and it is already two nucleus were there at the center. Okay, now it became three nucleus. Okay, so this process is known as the triple fusion. Why it is triple fusion? Because already two nucleus were there. One more male nucleus which came through the pollen tube is joining with these two polar nucleus, and now it has got three haploid nucleus inside, so that we are calling this process as triple fusion. Okay, so two times the fusion of the male gamete is happened. Okay, one time or first time the male gamete is fusing with the egg cell and it made the zygote, and another male nucleus is fusing with the polar nucleus, so that two times the fertilization had happened, so that we can call this entire process as double fertilization. Double fertilization. Okay, so what is double fertilization? Double fertilization means, see, two male nucleus are coming through the pollen tube. One of the nucleus is fusing with the egg cell to make the zygote. Another nucleus will fuse to the centrally placed polar nuclei, and two times the fusion of the male gamete is happening with the other nucleus, so that we are calling it as the double fertilization. Okay, so this is how the fertilization is taking place within the plant. And before that, before ending up, you have to see, I am just going to rub it. See, another important point that you have to learn from here. See, I have told you the embryo sac. This is the embryo sac, and in the embryo sac, centrally placed one egg cell is there, and side it has got synergids. Okay, here 3 antibodies were there, and at center it has got 2 polar nucleus. Like that it goes. Okay, so see, the embryo sac itself is, how many cells are there? 8 cells are there. How it is being 8 cells? See, this is one synergid. This is a cell. This is egg. Okay, this is another cell. This is another synergid. So it has got, this is a third cell. This is another antibody. This is another cell. 5 and 6. 3 antibodies are here and 2 synergids, and centrally placed one egg cell is there. And it itself is a cell which is having 2 nucleus. Okay, this is another cell. So like that, it has got 7 cells. Okay, this is a 7 cell. So the whole embryo sac is made with 7 cells. How it is being 7 cells? 2 synergids, 1 egg cell, and 3 antibodies, and itself it is a cell. So that 7 cells are there, and it has got 8 nucleus. 1 nucleus is here, 1 is here, 2. This is 3. This is 4, 5, 6. 7 and 8. 8 nucleus are there. 7 cells and 8 nuclei. Okay. So there you can get one question. Embryo sac is a 7 cell and 8 nucleated structure. Justify the statement. So what you have to write? You have to write that an embryo sac, it has got a big cell with 2 nucleus at the center, and 3 antibodies are there, and 2 synergids are here, 1 egg cell. Like that it has got 7 cells, and each of these cells are having 1 nucleus, and centrally placed 2 nucleus are there. In total 8 nuclei are there. Okay, like that the embryo sac is a 7 cell and 8 nucleated structure. Okay, so many questions that you can get from this portion. What is double fertilization, and what is microbial, and what is integument, what is nucellus, what is the structure of the embryo sac, and what is the structure of the pollen grain. So that so many questions that you will get from this portion, and you have to give more importance to the diagrams. I have told you already that most of your questions will be based on diagrams, so that you have to keep your attention to the diagrams also. Okay. And in our next class we are going to see what are the post fertilization changes, and I know that there are so many new terms that I have used in this class, like what do you call the integuments, germ pore, tube nuclei, and generative nuclei, isn't it? Antipodal, synergids, all these are the new terms. I know that it will be a bit difficult to you. So that if you are feeling any difficulty, you just pause the video and go back once again, watch it once again. Okay, like that you have to clear your doubts. Okay, and in between, if you are feeling any difficulty, you can make a call to me. Okay, so that's all for today's class. In next class we are going to see the post fertilization changes. Thank you.